This is the Season Long Podcast in support of the YouTube channel Season Long Baller, where we are following the exploits on NBA 2K on the video game NBA 2K24 through our player build, Jaymont Summerz, on the Washington Wizards. And we have been mirroring the entire Wizards schedule all season long. We did it last season on NBA 2K23, and we're doing it this season on NBA 2K24. Jaymont Summerz, 6'5" point guard out of William & Mary. That's our player build. Right now is an 85 overall with 22 player badges, 20 of those being bronze, and 2 of them, Limitless Range and Dimer, being silver. And we improved, of course, from NBA 2K23 to NBA 2K24. So we review what happened during the week and give you a preview of what's coming up next week. But this week, we actually will do something just a slight bit different, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, for the Wizards, it all started last Tuesday when we faced the Memphis Grizzlies in Memphis. Now, you may recall, second game of the season, we faced the Grizzlies after losing to the Pacers at the beginning of the season. We then faced the Grizzlies, which was really our unofficial ring night. We defeated the Grizzlies on NBA 2K23, 4-1, Ja Morant and company going down to us. Again, with Kristaps Porzingis and Bradley Beal in tow. Jaymont Summerz got the NBA Finals MVP. Wizards are champions. We're defending champions right now. Ja Morant, being suspended, of course, did not play in that game back in October. And ring night. So, granted, the real NBA has no idea that that's what happened. And I doubt that NBA 2K24 has it built in that these Grizzlies want revenge. But ring night, getting beat, maybe the Grizzlies want some revenge. We take the 84-70 loss to the Grizzlies in Memphis. We'll talk about the game just a little bit later on. And then on a Thursday, we defeated the Rockets in Houston 78-71, had our first look at the Bulls and defeated them on Saturday 73-57. We played the Bulls 8 times last season in the semifinal round in the Eastern Conference, a 4-0 sweep, and then 4 times in the regular season. So we've seen the Bulls a lot, but this is our first look at them this season, or we saw them a lot last season. And then yesterday, a 97-80 victory over the Celtics, and we'll talk about that a little bit in just a moment. Now, starting with the Grizzlies, we lost to the Grizzlies 84-70. As you see, we only shot 45% from the field, 31% from deep, while the Grizzlies shot over 50% from us, and also actually had more bench points than we did, and really killed us, as you see here, on the glass. 37-26 advantage, 10 offensive rebounds, and that's really a big difference in this game. You can't look at the free throws. We shot more free throws, didn't shoot them as well as the Grizzlies, but we did shoot more free throws and made more free throws than the Grizzlies. But that is the big difference, the offensive glass, where the Grizzlies defeated us there, or beat us there 10-5, and you see we took the loss to the Grizzlies 84-70. Ja Morant leading the way with 23 points, going 9 out of 20 from the field and 1 out of 5 from deep. Desmond Bane was 6 out of 9 from the field, 4 out of 6 from deep, and he had 16 points. As you see, the Grizzlies had 4 players in double figures: Morant, Bane, Jackson Jr., and Aldalama with 12 points. For the Wizards, looking across the way, the Summerz led the way with 35 points, and boy, this a personal high here in terms of shots attempted. Yes, I know, I'm already guilty of already shooting the ball more than anybody else in the league, but this is a career high, going 14 out of 28, shooting the ball 28 times. That's a lot in even a 12-minute game, but we only play 6-minute quarters on Season Long Baller, and we managed to get up 28 shots. Now, Jordan Poole, in true Jordan Poole fashion, still managed to get up 11 shots, but as you notice, he was only 2 out of 11 from the field and 1 out of 6 from deep, while we were 5 out of 12 from deep. No one else on the team attempted more than 4 shots. Şengün got 4 shots, but he was only 1 out of 4. The rest, you see, 3 shots, 2 shots. So it might be safe to say that I took too many shots along with Jordan Poole. Between myself and Poole, we shot the ball nearly 40 times, and that, again, was not good enough. But notice, too, in the rebounds category, Şengün had 8, I had 5, and that was your 2 leading rebounders. Now, yesterday, we defeated the Celtics 97-80, again, shooting well against the Celtics. The 2 games that we have played the Celtics at home, back in on the day before Halloween, we defeated the Celtics, and obviously that is the game close to my heart, as that is our career high 51 points, and we set the NBA record for three-pointers. I'll have that one linked in the description. 15 three-pointers, and we destroyed the Celtics in that game. 16 out of 20 16 out of 20 overall, 15 out of 19 from deep. Again, here, we didn't shoot crazy from three, but from the field, 66%, while the Celtics were only shooting 44%. Matter of fact, did not play the fourth quarter and defeated the Celtics 97-80. And that is a big win. Again, I don't want to play the Celtics in the playoffs, but that is still a big win. Jason Tatum led the way for the Celtics. No surprise there with 30 points, going 10 out of 18, but he did have a slow start and picked it up in the second half. Jaylen Brown also had 20 for the Celtics, going 7 out of 20. But the big thing here is for the Wizards with 20 points, going 9 out of 13 from the field. And you see the Wizards had 6 players actually, in double figures, and Summerz was not the leading scorer in the game for the Wizards. First time that has happened all season, as Jordan Poole had 20, Summerz had 19, and then you see Tyus Jones with 15, Kuzma with 13, Şengün with 13, and Daniel Gafford with 12. 6 Wizards in double figures, and that led the way in terms of scoring and in terms of the Wizards defeating the Celtics. Even though, as you see there, some kind of way the Celtics scored 51 points in the fourth quarter. 51 points. Now, to show you how big the lead got, they outscored us in the fourth quarter by 15 points, 51-36, and still lost by 17 points. So that does have to make you wonder, what kind of defense were we playing in the fourth quarter? To give up 51, but by that point, the game had been decided. Now, we'll do something a little bit different than we normally do on the podcast. We do always talk about things that are generally happening in our simulation during the season, but this time we won't talk about the Wizards or our player build other than what we've already talked about for the most part for the rest of the podcast. We'll cover basically what's going on in the rest of the league. Right now, in the Eastern Conference, here you see the current standings. Yes, the Wizards are number 1, but that's rounded out by the Knicks, 48-19. The Heat are running third, followed by the Sixers, the Cavaliers, the Pacers, Bulls, Celtics, and Bucks in the 9th position, even though they are 10 games under 500. Out west, it's the Lakers, followed by the Warriors, Clippers, Thunder, Grizzlies in the 5th position. Pelicans round out the teams that will not be in the play-in at the moment, and the Nuggets, Mavericks, and Timberwolves are 7, 8, and 9. And you know we are really keeping an eye on the Mavericks, who have defeated us in both matchups this season. Zion Williamson leads the league in field goal percentage, shooting over 67, almost 67.5% from the field. Jamal Murray leads in three-point percentage at 48.5% from deep, and Joel Embiid has the most free throw attempts per game at 4.6. No surprises there, and we will not talk about us being second in the league in terms of free throw attempts. Mitchell Robinson from the Knicks, he's injured obviously for the real Knicks, but in our simulation, still healthy, leads the league in blocks at 1.5 per game. Jimmy Butler is leading our simulation in steals at just under a steal and a half a game. Now, in terms of team stats, the Phoenix Suns lead the league in free throw attempts per game. The Utah Jazz leading the league in offensive rebounds per game, which is a little bit surprising. I wouldn't figure that it would be the Jazz. I'm not sure. Maybe the Sixers with Embiid, or maybe the Timberwolves with their Twin Towers. You would figure they would probably lead the league in offensive rebounding. But as you see here, they're not even in the top 9. It's the Jazz, Thunder, Knicks, Grizzlies, and Heat are your top 5. But it's the Jazz leading the league in offensive rebounds at 7.3 a game. Assists per game, it's the LA Clippers. Of course, James Harden is spearheading that, leading the league in assists at 16.7 a game as a team. And despite the fact that the Utah Jazz lead in offensive rebounding, they're not leading in second chance points. That's the Portland Trailblazers at 7.6 second chance points a game. Blocks per game, here are the Timberwolves, again, the Twin Towers, you would figure. They are leading the league in blocks per game at 3.1. And the Miami Heat, probably spearheaded by Jimmy Butler, as we noted a little bit earlier, lead the league in steals per game at 4.7. Another surprise, the Portland Trailblazers have the highest scoring bench in our simulation at 23.9 points a game, followed by the Raptors, Spurs, Clippers, and Jazz. This will probably come as no surprise to you, but taking a look across the league at some of the teams in the league as how they're doing, who is their leading scorers. Joel Embiid leading the Sixers at 15.6 a game. Giannis Antetokounmpo at 14.3 a game. You notice Damian Lillard has 13.9. Paul George for the Clippers at 12.2, while James Harden has 10.3. And you'll notice that Harden is averaging 5 assists a game. And remember, we are again playing 6-minute quarters. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown leading the Celtics with 13.5 and 11.3 points per game, respectively. No surprises there. Cavaliers led by Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland in points per game. For the Heat, it is Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero, both of those guys in double figures. Butler at 11.5 a game. The Kings, it is only De'Aaron Fox in double figures as he's averaging 12.3 points per game. For the Knicks, they've got 3 players averaging double figures: Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and RJ Barrett. Again, differences in our simulation. Obviously, RJ Barrett is playing with the Raptors now and would not be playing, obviously, for the Knicks, but in our simulation has not been traded. But on NBA 2K25, when we play our 3rd season of Season Long Baller, and again, we'll most likely be on the Washington Wizards, he will be with the Raptors. The Nuggets, no surprise here, with Nikola Jokic with 12.9 points a game and Jamal Murray at 12.2, both of them leading scorers there. And no surprise again with the Mavericks, where Luka Doncic is averaging 15.2 points a game and 12.4 points a game for Kyrie Irving as the team's 2nd leading scorer. The Lakers, LeBron James and AD, both averaging double figures. LeBron at 12.6, Davis at 10.6. We've got one more matchup with the Lakers this season, where the Lakers beat us in LA. We have one more matchup with them where we will be facing them in DC. For the Pelicans, Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram leading the team, both of them averaging 11 points per game. The Spurs, one of the teams does not have a single double-digit score or somebody averaging double digits a game. Wembanyama is averaging 9.7 and Keldon Johnson has 8 points a game, but nobody on the roster averaging double figures. For the Suns, I can't say this surprises me either. Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant all in double figures. I guess you could argue with who would be the leading scorer. Would it be Durant or Booker? But in this case, it's Booker at 13.7 a game. Beal has 12.2, and Durant is averaging 10.8. For the Warriors, no surprises, as Klay Thompson in our simulation is probably having a slightly better season than he's had in actuality. But Curry is scoring 16 points a game, while Klay Thompson has 12.8 points a game. And for the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards with 14.1, while Cat has 10.9 points a game. For the Thunder, it is Shea leading the team with 16.4 points per game. He is the 2nd leading scorer in the league behind our player build, Jaymont Summerz. We are averaging over 27 a game right now. And Josh Giddey has 9.1 points per game. Now, taking a quick look at the injury report, Pascal Siakam has been out for the season for a little bit now for the Raptors with the ruptured right Achilles, as you see. And now Mo Wagner from the Orlando Magic is out for the season with a dislocated right patella. Now, that's 2 pretty rough injuries, and again, illustrates how in our league, the simulation, it's obviously we're not following what the NBA is actually doing in that particular case, but everything will reset when we go to NBA 2K25. So, taking a look at what's going on next week for the Wizards, and I hope you liked us taking a kind of quick sweep throughout the rest of the league. We've got the Rockets tomorrow. We did just face the Rockets 5 days ago in Houston. We'll be facing them in DC, as we're going to be home for 3 of the games for all 3 games this week. We'll have the Rockets tomorrow, and then on Thursday, we'll be taking on the Sacramento Kings, and then the Toronto Raptors on Saturday. Hope you'll join us all this week. Thank you for joining us for Season Long Podcast number 52. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Hope to see you tomorrow when we take on the Houston Rockets in DC. That's going to do it for Season Long Baller. Peace.